Alright guys, today we're going to burn a H. Upmann 1844 vintage Cameroon, and it comes with a nice sleeve of cedar, I believe, and I'm not sure if this is to look at this, it just comes very tight. This is a good looking cigar. It's a little windy. And I got Papa here with me. He's got a haircut and everything. Get a nice coat. How you doing, Papa? How you doing, Papa? He looks great. So, on my last video that I haven't loaded up yet, I did some hunting, and then we went to see the Trail of 100 Giant Trees. Went to see that, and then the plan was to go to Big Bear and do some fishing. On the way back, going through the desert, just before going into this junction, it's called Kramer Junction, the truck started vibrating a little bit, and couldn't figure out what was wrong. So when I got to the junction, it happened like 5 miles out. So it started getting worse and worse. And when I got to the junction, I pulled over into a gas station. Went there, pulled over, popped the hood, looked around, couldn't find anything. Got under the truck thinking that something to do with the linkage that I fixed. The linkage was fine, and it was activated. The dash light activated the stability track that is supposed to keep the vehicle stable. And so I kind of pulled out the manual and I started reading on it. And what it does is supposed to, if you're in a slippery road or if it's snow or whatever, it'll brake or cut power to a tire. It will do different things in conjunction with the engine. So, but it didn't, I would put it in gear. I also checked my transfer case just in case I had it wrong. It was right. It was on drive. I took it out of drive, put it on neutral, put it back in drive. The vibration would not go away. So my woman went to the gas station and asked, is there a mechanic around? And they said, yeah, there's a mechanic around there on the other side of the other station there. So we went there. It wasn't really a mechanic shop. It was a tire place that they fix and replace truck tires, because there's a lot of trucking, diesels going through there, 18-wheelers. So I asked the guy, and he went and he looked under the hood, checked the spark plugs. They're getting good sparks. So he says, okay, it's not a spark plug, maybe it's a coil. So he brought his scanner, hooked it up to the truck. It gave him a code of PO300. He looked it up on YouTube. There's a bunch of videos telling you what it could be. There are several things, and one of them was the fuel pump. And I said, well, can you do anything? He goes, the nearest town is 40 miles. So I said, okay, I'm gonna risk it. And we're going down to, and he says, on the second light, when you get to that town, make a left, and there's a mechanic there. So we made it there with the truck. The funny thing is that when I was going slow, like 20, 15, 20, through traffic, it was like, vibrating really bad. When I would go faster, 50 and 60, it will smooth out with a little vibration still. So I said, I don't think it's the fuel pump, because otherwise it would have been dead by now. If the fuel pump is dying, once you request more gas and you step in on the gas, it wouldn't be enough gas to go. But I was going pretty good speed. Went up a couple of hills, made it okay. So anyways, we pulled into the mechanic, and thinking that it might have been a clogged fuel filter, I asked the lady, the owner of the shop, I said, can you change the fuel filter? And she goes, do you have it? And I said, no, I don't have it. She goes, no, I don't have anything here. It was just a small little shop. It wasn't a major mechanic or anything. They were doing mostly tires also. So I said, okay. She says, no, the filter comes with the pump. So I said, well, maybe this vehicle, it's not like All Blue that I had a fuel filter. It's a 2012 Silverado. So I said, listen, we're going to risk it. I told her, and I said, we're going to risk it. Let's go home. And we made it. That town it's pretty close to the freeway. It's only like 20 miles or so. So we finally made it to the freeway. We had to go through there was so much traffic, I couldn't figure out why. There was a lot of traffic. Then there was an accident. And I said, you know what? It's already 4 o'clock, we're starving. And, I don't feel good. Let's just eat somewhere. So we pulled over. We went and got some Subways. We ate. We sat there for 20, 30 minutes, letting the traffic go by. Then we got back on the road, made it to the freeway. And when we got to, we were dreading, especially her. She was dreading the Cajon Pass. It gets pretty packed. Well, luckily the Cajon Pass was flowing fairly. It wasn't fast, but it was okay to keep up with the speed. We were doing 35, 40, something like that. But when we get to the second hump, once you go into, what's the name of that city? I think it's Hesperia, in that area. It was a parking lot. And I said, if we go slow, this truck is gonna die, because when it goes slow, it started shaking. And I said, no, we need to go fast. So we pulled over, rested for about an hour and a half. We walked Papa. He did his thing. We just rested, and we were keeping an eye on the freeway, which was only a couple of 100 yards from us. So around 6:30, there was hardly any traffic. And I said, good, let's get back on it. Got on it, went over the hump. When we come down, parking lot again. I'm going, Jesus. So we went down the whole Cajon doing 30, 25. Truck would vibrate, so I would have to put it in neutral. Otherwise it would die out. And I'm thinking, if it's the pump and it won't turn back on, we're stuck here in the middle of the freeway. With all this traffic, you could also have an accident. So anyways, we finally made it home. When I was backing it into the driveway, it almost died. It was just, really bad. So I pulled it into the driveway, starting unloading, the food and stuff, the perishables, so nothing goes bad. Put it away. Went inside and I said, okay, let me, I was tense, I was nervous. It's a long trip. An hour later, I said, okay, let me see if this thing has a filter. I got under the truck, checked from one end to the other, the fuel lines, no fuel filter. So the filter in this truck, in this particular truck, is in the gas tank with the fuel pump. So I called my mechanic and I said, hey, I got a problem. I think it's the fuel pump. When can I bring it over? He said, bring it over tomorrow. So the next day, they opened at 9, a little late. I thought they were open at 8. But anyways, as soon as they were open, I started the truck, started fine. And I didn't even warm it up. Put it in gear and took off. Made it over there, parked it, and I told the guy that the boss wasn't there, was one of his mechanics. And I said, okay, I think it could be a coil. I think it could be a fuel pump. What?
I'll call you back.
Okay, I got my coffee here. So then, I left it, and I called. That was 2 days ago. I called him today, and I said, "Okay, did you find out what's wrong with the truck?" He goes, "No, not yet." So they haven't touched it because they're busy. So hopefully, it'll be done by next week, some middle of the week, I guess. And I'm kind of curious to see if it's the pump or several coils. Now the chances of several coils going bad, because it would have to be more than 3 coils for the vibration the truck was giving me to make it run that way. And what are the chances of that happening, of 3 coils going bad? None. You could have 1, maybe 2. So the chances are that it's not the coils, it's not the spark plugs, and it's not the cables. It's the fuel pump, which is going to run me about $700. That's the quote he gave me. So let's see what happens. But that was, and then she tells me when we got here, good job driving. And I said, good job, I had no choice. Because she offered, you want me to drive? I said, are you kidding? This thing's gonna die on you. Not going to take that chance. But I was tired. That's a lot of driving. Well, the cigar, it didn't bite. It was a little bitter at the beginning. It smoothed out, and it's got a good aroma. Very good aroma. So the H. Upton, I always like the H. Uptons. They're good cigars. And this is the first time I have the Cameroon. So the video that I did before, the hunting video, I edited the whole thing, cleaned it up, put it up. And then this guy writes to me, and he goes, that spot where you were, apparently he recognized the area. He goes, if you go to the left, we were there for the bow and we saw 2 bears. I'm going, really? And then he says, at the rifle opening, a couple of guys, he says, I saw a bear and 12 does. And I'm going, whoa, that's a lot of does. And then he says, a couple of guys caught 2 bucks back in there. So that area, I did catch a buck long time ago. And I've hunted that area, but not the way I used to hunt it. that I went in deep. I just hunted from the road and that didn't produce anything. I'm coming to the conclusion that I'm not gonna hunt that area anymore because it's very, very dense. And I still got the tags for the season. There's still 2 more weeks to go. Maybe I'll go for the closing. Since I have the tag, might as well do it uh, and check it and go in there. But the chances are finding a buck at the late season, that's very, very nil. The other area that I found on the other side is flat, easy walking. It's by this road, main road going out. I've never seen anything around there, and I don't think I'm going back there because to get to the particular spot, will have to climb the freaking canyon, a huge mountain, to get there. And basically, I'm fed up with the area. There's no view. It's so dense. There's only 2 places that you can have a view. And I showed the video that one, it's a big mountain that you can see into the open areas and look, and you never see anything. Never seen anything. And I've been going there for a long time. The other one is further down. There's a little bit of yellow grass, and there might be something. But if you do shoot something, then you gotta go down this face of a mountain, go across, go up to retrieve the deer. It's not practical to go there. So basically, I'm kind of giving up on that area. I'm gonna start looking elsewhere by the A zone. I'm gonna put the cross on the D zone. Now X10 has always been my favorite, but you do not get X10 all the time. So it's just a long trip. I'm tired driving through the desert. It's like 2.5, almost 3 hours. And then there's only a 2-lane traffic, and it's full of trucks, it's full of RVs, it's full of cars. It's just too much traffic in that road. And you're going in the whoop-de-doos and the whoop-de-doos. Then when you get behind an RV that's going slow and there's no passing lane or anything, there's only 2 slow lanes, passing lanes, that you go to the right and let the traffic pass, and they're all uphill, and you have to step on the engine, go up that hill and try to pass those vehicles before they get back on the lane. I'm tired of going there. I'm not buying tags there anymore. And I got a friend that lives up there, but I'm sorry, I won't be able to visit. You want to come down and visit? That's fine, but I'm not going up there anymore. It's too much driving. 6 hours with no results. If I don't get a deer, I'm perfectly fine with that. But not to see anything, that's what bugs me. Because if I see a deer on the opposite hill, say, hey, okay, I can't get to it, but I seen one. I seen some does, I seen some bucks, I seen game. But not to see anything, and you made all that drive and all that effort and expenses. The tag's already up to 105, the gas, and it costs money. Not to see anything? No. So as soon as they fix it, I'm gonna take off. I got a spot that I want to go pig hunting, and I've been pig hunting at the beginning of my aunt's. I used to drive all the way up to Hunter Liggett. That's another long trip. It's a military station, military base, belongs to the Army, and they have maneuvers. And then we went one day, and they just finished having maneuvers, and they shot up the place. They were empty shells, cannon shells or things. here and there, and we didn't realize that the game got spooked and there was nothing around. We never saw a pig or a deer. Uh, they just don't tell you when they're going to have maneuvers. So, but I'm not going there. But that place got some huge pigs with big tusk. But there's a place I've been wanting to go. I know where it's at. Never been there. I met some people that've been there. Said got a couple of pigs, and I want to go check it out. And I'm taking the quad. So I'm not going right away as soon as I get the truck because now I got my mother's car here that I have to sell. I have to get an alignment. I gotta take it to a shop to repair a dent on the wheel well. So I'm gonna be busy with that, and but I want to start heading out scouting for next season, and I'm gonna start driving up and down the coast and see if I can talk to people, some ranchers. If they see you're a decent person and you don't come with a bunch of cuatreros with you, they'll give you the okay to hunt their land because the pigs are causing damage, knocking down fences, going vegetable fields and whatever, and they cause some damage. They're always uprooting with their snout, and I want to see if I can drive around. I got a couple of places in mind that you can actually see the deer from the road. No more forest. Um, because in the forest it's just too thick, just too thick. So the next year is gonna be a whole different type of hunt, and also oh, I'm planning on getting that surgery now. I already talked to my surgeon. I'm getting a CAT scan next week, and they're gonna check my shoulder, and turns out that I have like a thorn in the cartilage. It's pretty big size like that. It's not a thorn, it's a spur. They call it a spur. So they're talking about removing it, reducing it, grinding it down or cutting it, whatever they do, and then cutting a few tendons so I can have the movement, because the pain is there. It's there 24/7, and I've had it like that for 4 years, almost five now. So I'm tired of the pain. It doesn't let me sleep well, and it bothers me when I try to reach for something. When I turn on my left, it bothers me. It's always bothering me. So I gotta do that, and then do the therapy, and then by next season I should be in better shape as far as the shoulder is concerned. And if I can find a good place that I can ride the quad through the ranch and all that, and just spend the day, and I can visually see the animals and stuff, and then I can work my way around and see if I can get to it uh, by foot or with the quad. Either way, that's going to be my next strategy, because up there, unless I get the wilderness tag, and if I bring somebody with me, there was a guy that almost came with me, but he lost his job, and he said he could make it. Was looking for a job, and then he got new work, and he texted me like a day, 2 days before. He said, "I can't make it. I got a new job now, and I can't leave." And I said, "Okay, I understand." But if he can come with somebody, that's in good shape, go back in the wilderness backpacking, and we can both drag the deer out instead of one person, or pack it out. So that's the plan. And we'll see. All right, guys. I'll see you on the next one.